Welcome to my very first Big Bang Theory Season 12 episode review video. Of course, this being the Season 12 premiere. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am every watch, you're watching the Big Bang Theory, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be the Big Bang Theory Season 12, Episode 1, the Season 12 premiere. The title of this episode is called The Conjugal Configuration, and this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. Sheldon and Amy are lying in bed together, and Sheldon leans over and tells Amy, "Good morning, wife," and Amy wakes, smiles, and replies, "Good morning, husband." Sheldon then suggests that they follow the tradition of hanging their sheets outside the window so that the villagers can see that they have consummated their marriage. Sheldon opens up the curtains, revealing that the Coopers are visiting Legoland on their honeymoon. I would think it would have something to do with trains, not Legos. Then Sheldon offers Amy the breakfast he ordered from room service composed entirely of Lego bricks, which causes Amy to laugh. Walking up the stairs, Penny is happy that with the Coopers away, she has some alone time with her husband, but Raj makes a joke that they aren't alone since both he and Wallowitz are with them having takeout dinner. Raj announces that Channel 3 News invited him to talk about the upcoming meteor shower, and Howard adds that that is how Neil deGrasse Tyson got started with guest shots on local news. At the top of the stairs, Raj hears noises coming from Sheldon and Amy's place. Leonard is sure that Sheldon and Amy aren't back because they posted a picture of them in front of the Statue of Liberty, made of Legos. Penny runs over and bangs on the door. Mr. Fowler opens the door, saying that Amy had asked him to water their plants, or her plants. Penny tells him that Amy doesn't have any plants, and Mr. Fowler admits that he was caught in a lie and leaves. Raj asks if that was weird, and Leonard says that he can't even tell anymore what's weird. After the gang is inside Leonard and Penny's apartment, Mr. Fowler runs back into the apartment. The Coopers are escorted into their hotel room in New York City, where they are going to be very busy. The Harry Potter play parts 1 and 2, the Nikola Tesla tour, and of course coitus. Amy is happy to do it again until she sees Sheldon has it on his schedule. At the moment, they could steam their Harry Potter robes or make vigorous, socially sanctioned love. Leonard and Penny sit down to see Raj's appearance on the news, though Penny is peeved that they are missing Vampire Diaries. Amy's mother is pounding on the door across the hallway, demanding that her husband let her in. The Hofstetters come out and they ask if everything is okay. She feels that Penny should worry more about her husband. Leonard doesn't think that Mr. Fowler is in Cooper's apartment, although Mrs. Fowler looks at him with contempt. She calls Leonard naive and tells him that Blondie is going to chew him up and spit him out. She makes Leonard open up the door with his extra key, and she begins to search the place for her husband. He's not in the living area or the bedroom. She pulls aside the bathtub curtains and doesn't find him in one end of the tub, but she finds out that he's hiding on the other end of the tub. Howard and Bernadette are waiting to watch Raj on TV while Howard mentions that the weather girl is hot. Bernadette says that he can call her hot if he wants, but Howard resists it, thinking that he'd give her an excuse for not having sex that night. I think Bernadette said that she's hot. Howard didn't. Actually, I put the wrong thing here. Raj is introduced to discuss the upcoming meteor shower, and it first jokes that Neil deGrasse Tyson must have been unavailable. The weather girl asks about what is going to occur, and Raj says there are going to be a lot of flaming gas like Neil deGrasse Tyson. She asks if there is no love lost between Raj and Neil. Raj says that he loves Neil like Neil loves Neil. Raj can't add anything else because he used up all of their airtime insulting a fellow astronomer. Sheldon and Amy return from the theater wearing their robes. Sheldon likes live theater because it is so interactive. He yelled to Harry to look out, and the actor looked right at him, much to Amy's embarrassment. Sheldon is ready to jump into bed again with Amy, but she wants to wait till the morning. Sheldon then goes over their schedule, which disturbs Amy that their coitus can't be more spontaneous. She wonders why the two of them can't mix it up a bit. Sheldon calls her Betty Crocker, and it bothers Sheldon that they might have sex at any time. Amy adds that they are not having it that night. Mrs. Fowler is lecturing her husband that he shouldn't leave without a message or a note. Leonard thinks that she should let him talk once in a while. She asks her husband to say something, and all he can do is shrug his shoulders. She then tells him to go home. However, Mrs. Fowler wants to stay, or Mr. Fowler wants to stay. Mrs. Fowler also plans to stay, and Leonard tells Penny that they are leaving even though Penny isn't ready. Leonard is feeling sorry for the little guy. Penny says that after they had Amy, she should have devoured them like the animal on the nature show. She doesn't know that what Mr. Fowler saw in his wife. Leonard smiles and says that some guys think strong women are sexy and the opposites attract. Penny gets offended that Leonard thinks that they are like the Fowlers and that she is like Amy's mother and storms off. Raj reads a tweet by Neil deGrasse Tyson saying that some random nobody on the evening news took a cheap shot at him. Bernadette thinks that he should apologize, while Raj thinks that a good Twitter feud would help his career, or X now is what it's called. Dear Mr. Tyson, much like the tissue, I have gotten under your skin. Tyson shoots back that tissue is skin, genius. And Raj is set to keep up the Twitter war, or the tweeter war. In New York City on the Tesla walking tour, Sheldon wants to correct the guide. Amy tells him to let it go. Sheldon thinks that something is bothering his wife. He asks if she is sexually frustrated. No, just testy. Sheldon adds that she wouldn't be if they adhered to their schedule. Amy replies that everyone is listening to them. Sheldon feels like that is because he is interesting, unlike their tour guide. Amy walks away from him. Leonard walks in and tells Penny, "Good morning, sunshine." Penny is still pissed. She is making espresso so she can have the extra strength for ball busting all day. Penny explains that Leonard compared the two of them to the strangest couple they know, and that includes the Coopers, the Wolowitzes, and Raj and his dog Cinnamon. Leonard describes Mrs. Fowler as angry and vindictive, while Penny is warm and loving and quick to forgive, while Leonard can't get away from sounding like her mouthy husband. Penny is worried that they'll be like that in 30 years. Playing a game with Howard and Bernadette, Raj is still engaged with his Tyson feud. Bernadette thinks that that's silly. Raj feels that it is two respected scientists debating in an open field, even though Raj called him Mike Tyson's little sister. Now the fighter is angry with Raj as well. Mrs. Fowler is now visiting Penny. Her husband is taking a break from their marriage and says that she is overbearing. Penny meekly says that she is just the right amount of bearing and that she is sure that Mr. Fowler will come back to her. Mrs. Fowler thinks that Penny is a good person and that she hopes that they can spend a lot of time together. Penny marches over to Amy and Sheldon's and demands that Mr. Fowler go home because she doesn't want to spend more time with Mrs. Fowler. Finding Amy on a park bench, Sheldon delivers 2 hot dogs to her from a nearby street vendor that would normally disgust Sheldon. She is not hungry. Sheldon does want to be a good husband to Amy. He knows that intimacy is part of that, but he wants it on his schedule so that he'll remember to be intimate. Amy doesn't want anyone other than Sheldon, but the idea of scheduling their coitus needs a compromise. Sheldon can schedule all the things he wants, just don't tell Amy about it. That is fine with Sheldon. He plans on generating a random producing algorithm to make it look like their intimacy is spontaneous. The randomness is not really genuine because the true randomness of numbers is an unsolved problem in computer science, adds Amy. Wow! Sheldon then takes her back to the hotel so she can repeat that to him naked. Raj is driving and gets a personal phone call from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Raj asks how he likes their Twitter feud. Tyson doesn't find him funny. Then he invites Raj to a Pasadena book signing and tells him to say those things to his face. Raj declines, which Tyson considers a smart move since he was the guy that kicked Pluto out of the solar system. Raj thanks him and hangs up. Neil deGrasse Tyson wonders who next needs a good DeGrasse kicking. Calling Bill Nye the science guy, Neil tells him that they need to talk, and Bill Nye immediately hangs up on him, and that's what ends this episode of The Big Bang Theory. So I didn't really like this episode all that much. I'll still score it a 7.3 out of 10. Sheldon is the character of the episode. That stuff with Amy was pretty funny. And then, as many of you know, I rate Penny because Penny's the reason why I started watching The Big Bang Theory. For this one, I'll give her a 7.5 out of 10. So you've heard everything that I had to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of The Big Bang Theory. What would you score it? Who would be your character of the episode? And if you had to rate Penny like I do, you can also do that in the comment section. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.